It's going to be a tough opponent for sure. We have to step our game right up. Every individual's going to have to step their game up. Yeah, the last game against CSK certainly wasn't our best game. That's for sure. There's normally in an IPL tournament, in any sort of franchise tournaments, unfortunately, there's normally a game where you do get blown out of the water, and you hope from your own team's perspective that you have a couple of those that you're on the right side of. And unfortunately for us, all aspects of our game really were just slightly off. And CSK, especially, they batted incredibly well to be able to get the total they did. We were a little bit off with our execution with the ball, which meant they just continued to be able to hit at least one boundary and over, which made it very challenging to be able to hold their scoring. And then from a batting perspective, which is one of those days where, gosh, just things didn't go away. No one really played and missed that much. They nicked it, a few sort of unlucky dismissals, and before you knew it, the game was over. So it was just one of those days where just everything was a little bit off, and you hope you go through a whole tournament without having one of those games, but it's normally pretty inevitable that a team will have to absorb one of those kinds of losses. Unfortunately, it's at the time where we need to sort of push on to be able to qualify for the finals. So these last three games are incredibly important for us to be able to shake that last game off against CSK and be better with execution from ball one all the way through to the end of the game. Yeah, that's something that Ricky's always very aware of, is making sure that you learn from the game, learn from the little things individually that you didn't execute exactly to how you're looking to, and then moving forward onto the next game. And that's the most important thing, is to continue to learn. And when things don't go exactly to plan, it's, as an individual alone, you do take it to heart, because you always want to be performing really well for your team. And when you have a game that doesn't go well, you get this really hollow feeling as an individual, and when your team doesn't do well, even when you wake up the next morning, you don't feel great. So, which is the way that you need to be able to learn and try and be better, whether it was technical, whether it was the mental sort of aspect of the game, to be able to try and be a bit more disciplined to have more chance of a better game, so you don't have to feel that way again. Because that's what, for me personally in particular, that's the thing that you're chasing, is to try and do whatever you can to not have a game that doesn't go well, because that feeling when you're sitting in your hotel room on your own, it's a pretty lonely place. Yeah, that's been because we've played some very good cricket at times, and then we just have been slightly off at certain times in a game as well, and that's been the biggest challenge for us as a coaching group, to be able to try and work through how to prepare the team that little bit better, because it all comes down to just better execution for longer. Because there's times where execution is excellent with the bat and ball and in the field, but there's been other times where execution's just been slightly off. And when you're playing against these world-class players, if your execution's slightly off, you're going to get exposed. And that has been the biggest sort of challenge through this tournament, is being able to just be more consistent throughout a whole game of T20 cricket, that we're able to execute better under pressure. And that's where we're continuing to work with the players. They're working really hard and trying to find that way to be more consistent. And hopefully we can execute more consistently over these last three games, because the pressure's on. We're gonna have to narrow our focus to a point where we know we have to be right on. Otherwise, it'll be the end of the tournament. Yeah, the Rajasthan Royals have been playing well. They did very well in the auction as well with the squad that they're able to put together, and they've been able to be pretty consistent throughout the tournament. It's helped that a few of their big stars have stepped up as well. Josh Butler's been incredible throughout the tournament. Different guys have chipped in where they have as well, and their quality, they're world-class spinners with Ashwin and Yuzi Chahal as well. So it's going to be a tough opponent for sure. We have to step our game right up. Every individual's going to have to step their game up to be at their best, to be able to try and take down the Rajasthan Royals, because it is an important game for the franchise. So everyone has to step up their game. But Rajasthan have been very impressive throughout the tournament so far. So we're just going to hope that we're able to put our hands up and little things fall our way throughout the game, and we're able to get on top of a quality team.